G'day, welcome to another episode of Shit Hotels in Australia. For the next 4 nights I'm staying here at the Great Southern Hotel on Spencer Street in Melbourne. Stayed at the Great Southern in Brisbane before. It was a pretty interesting experience with Cleopatra's Palace. So let's see what this one is going to be like. So now let's go inside and check it out.
Day 2.
Well, it's Saturday morning and in Melbourne it's cold. It's 16 degrees outside, and just on the topic of cold, you have a look at the bed that I actually had to put the big blanket on last night because for a hotel in Melbourne it's strange that it only has a sheet and a little tiny little blankety thing that doesn't even come much past your chest. And there's another interesting thing in that you go to adjust the temperature and turn it on and you've got cool. Now we've had these things before in a building that I used to work in, so I know how it works. This is how you adjust it. Fan, and now let's go dry, and we'll go heat. Oh no, we've got cool. So we've got a hotel room in Melbourne, which, whilst not as cold as Tassie, is not renowned for being particularly warm in winter. And here for this wimpy ex-Queenslander who's really suffering from the cold, you can't even warm the room up. It's strange and it's a little bit annoying, just to say the least, I guess.
Someone told me it's all happening at the zoo.
So what do you do when you've got a day free on the weekend in Melbourne and you haven't got a boat to sail? You go to the zoo. And now it's time for the Shit Hotels of Australia instant coffee test. And here at the Great Southern we have Cafe Noir. Now, Melbourne is known for being the coffee capital of Australia with some of the best coffee in the world. And okay, the rack rate for this room is such that it probably doesn't justify provision of a coffee machine, but at least they've gone to the trouble of Cafe Noir, made by www.baristazone.com. Not really fooling anyone, are they? Instant coffee? Nah. There's millions of cafes within walking distance that serve the best coffee in Australia. So why would you drink that? Not for me. So let's now check out the TV. And we've got here a Philips TV with a remote that's got a Netflix button on it and a button that says Smart TV Home. So we'll see how smart the TV is. Okay, first we'll check out what TV channels we've got. So we'll go to the guide. And we've got ABCs, the 10s, SBSs, from radios, the 7s, all the SBS radios, 9s. Yeah, so we've pretty much got all the free-to-air channels, which is good. And now let's try that Netflix button. No. Well, let's check the Smart TV Home top menu button. Oh, we need to be connected to the internet. Oh dear. Oh well, a TV that pretends to be smart is actually quite dumb. You'll be a YouTube star. So the Great Southern has an interesting Wi-Fi policy. When you go to log on, it says that you're going to choose complimentary or paid, and the paid is supposed to be fast. So I didn't choose paid. I think it should be free. So I just chose the complimentary, and the speed was perfect. I mean, let's check out some Netflix to see. Yep, it was perfect. But interestingly, the Wi-Fi was a bit weird with when I tried to connect it to my laptop. Firstly, it's not secured Wi-Fi, so I was a little bit hesitant about connecting my laptop to it, but I did need to send off a fairly important work email with an attachment. Yeah, it worked okay, and then came back into the room an hour or so later and it didn't work. Disconnect, no. And it didn't work on the tablet either. So I went downstairs to reception and a really helpful guy there fixed it on the tablet, but it wouldn't work on the laptop. And in the end I had to use my hotspot off my phone. So I don't know what the glitch is there, whether it's I mean, it did glitch with my tablet as well as my laptop, so it's not just the problem with the laptop. So I know, just beware about that one when you're staying here. Just a comment about the service at reception. So when I checked in, it was okay. It was a bit after 2, so it was really busy. There were 3 receptionists behind the counters, which had the glass frontage, so sort of like in a bank. And there were 7 people lined up outside one of those receptionists because the other 2 were closed. Then they did open another one, so I was getting served. And they give you I mean, not only do you have to hand over an ID, but they want ID from every person who's staying in the room, which is a little bit weird. And then they gave you a list of rules that you had to read, tick and sign, and some of them were quite interesting, like sharps disposal, make sure you don't leave any sharps. And I started to think when I was checking in, what type of clientele is the Great Southern serving here that they have to put things like that in? So yeah, so it was a tad confronting, but since being here for a couple of nights, the clientele seems absolutely fine. So I really can't work out why they would insist on that. But yeah, just a comment on the check-in.
Down into Young and Jackson's, we'll do a bit of serious drinking.
I don't know whether it's heightened security or anything, but I've just seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 police on bikes, 2 police cars and 3 police on foot in the last 3 minutes coming through Burke Street Mall. Maybe they're out to safeguard the hundreds of people lined up for Bluey's Christmas. Who knows where the laundry actually is, because I've been walking around here for the last 3 or 4 minutes and I can't find it. Well, finally found the laundry. It took a bit of looking. Yeah, well set out. Laundry powder, no change machine, but anyway, yeah, it's got a laundry.
Welcome to the old Melbourne jail. If you came here in 1859 when this cell block was completed, you'd be treated a bit differently to today. And what would you have done to end up here in 1859? You may be one of the very worst offenders, having committed murder or assault. Or perhaps you've just had a little bit too much to drink, or don't have the means to support yourself. We've all been there, right? Or perhaps you're guilty of being a little crazy. I mean, just look at yourself right now. Maybe you're walking around slowly, stopping here and there. Or are you standing still, staring into space? One thing we know for sure, you're hearing a strange voice in your head right now, aren't you?
Yep, I am. One of the interesting things in the bathroom is something that I haven't seen in an Australian hotel for a very long time, if at all, is the pull-out clothesline. And I must admit, when I was travelling around the world staying in hotels, they came in really handy when I was doing washing my smalls in the sink. But so it's a nice touch, Great Southern. But having said that, you would think that you wouldn't need to have this. Do not hang items from the sprinklers. Fees may apply. And there's one of those in the bedroom as well. Really quite bizarre. So let's have a look at some upkeep issues here in the Great Southern Hotel in Melbourne. And to be honest, there's not many really, considering compared to the Great Southern in Brisbane. But there's a few minor ones. There's a little ding here on the bed head. There's a sort of little scratch here or crack here along the join. A few little scuff marks on the desk. Little scratch on the fridge. A few little dings on the wall. And really, oh yes, and there's a little crack in the lino of the bathroom. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's pretty well maintained, and yeah, I'm quite impressed actually. Although, as I was saying to the girl who starred in the video yesterday at the market, when you're making a channel called Shit Hotels of Australia, you really want them to be a little bit more shit. But anyway, I'm quite enjoying this room here at the Great Southern, except for the fact that it's so bloody cold. Oh, Kelly once sang, I want to see the sun go down from St Kilda Esplanade, where the beach needs reconstruction, where the palm trees have it hard. And those palm trees over there and those ones over there certainly do seem to be struggling a bit compared to the ones growing outside my back door in Cannonvale. But I digress. Anyway, people have once said that I actually look like Paul Kelly. In fact, Paul himself agrees. And now it's time for the pirate score.
That is without doubt the worst pirate I have ever seen.
So, the pirate score for the Great Southern Hotel in Melbourne. First up, cleanliness and upkeep. Well, yeah, it was really clean, and apart from those few little dings and scratches, it was really well kept. Certainly compared to its equivalent, well, sorry, its namesake in Brisbane. So for cleanliness and upkeep, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Facilities. Well, I mean, it's a standard hotel room, so there weren't really any facilities. In fact, all you really got was a fridge and a kettle. So yeah, facilities not brilliant. But I guess the big downfall in the facilities was the temperature. And it says here on the compendium that it's got centrally controlled heating. And maybe it's programmed to expect Melbourne to be warmer than it is today coming up to Christmas, which it often is. But no, even when you walk in through the front doors of the hotel, it's instantly chilly. So taking that coldness into consideration, for facilities, I can only give it 2 stars. Add-ons. Well, remember that this is a hotel with a rack rate of about $100 a night, and it had a restaurant, it had a bar, it had a guest laundry, and it had parking as well. Yeah, it took a while to find the laundry, but it had one. So for add-ons, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Entertainment and Wi-Fi. Well, the TV had the free-to-air channels, yes, and the Wi-Fi was fast when it was connected. But there was that issue of the login dropping out. Not dropping out when you were watching it, but just for some reason the login dropping out, particularly on my laptop when I needed to do that work. So that was a little bit of a drawback. So for entertainment and Wi-Fi, I can only give it 2 stars. The bed and bath. Well, the bed was comfortable, although again with that temperature factor, a sheet and a bit of a blanket that only sort of came up halfway to your chest, but it did have a big spare blanket in the cupboard, which was brilliant. And the bathroom was pretty good. I mean, you had the option of a shower and a bath, and there was a plug in the sink. So for bed and bath, I'm going to give it 3 stars. Service. Well, there were ups and downs with the service. The check-in procedure, as I said, was almost, in fact, intimidating. But compared to this amazing service given to me by the guy at reception when the login for the Wi-Fi dropped out, and the really helpful service when my key card didn't work for the lift, that service was really great. And I guess the other sort of twist to the service is you had the option of not paying for your room to be serviced over the time in terms of cleaned and every day, which I chose. So I think that option is a really good one. So for service, yeah, when you balance it out, I'm going to give it 3 stars. The better than home bonus. Well, it's a CBD hotel. Okay, and here we do have double glazing, but it's not quite real double glazing. There's no vacuum in between the 2 panes of glass. And so what it tends to do is really exasperates the sounds at the low and the high end of the spectrum. So the low rumble of the trains going from Flinders Street Station to Southern Cross Station, and the high-pitched sirens of police cars, and of course the low rumble of what South Park would say, fags, and South Park said it, on Harleys. They got the dictionary changed, so it doesn't mean homosexuals, so homosexuals, please don't feel offended. Watch the South Park episode, it is absolutely brilliant if you hate Harley riders just like I do. So no better than home bonus. So for the Southern Cross Hotel in Melbourne, that's a total of 18 out of 30. And I want to cast your mind back to the girl who was pictured in the Queen Victoria Market footage going like that. Well, I actually had a chat with her shortly after that, telling her that she'd be, jokingly, that she'd be a star on YouTube. And so she asked what was the channel. I said, oh, it's a channel called Shit Hotels of Australia. She said, oh, where are you staying? And I said, oh, I'm staying at the Great Southern. She said, what's it like? And I said, oh, it's really good. She said, well, that's not much good for a channel called Shit Hotels of Australia, is it? And I guess she's right. So, yeah, I really liked the Great Southern here in Melbourne. And so, yeah, if you've liked this one, please click like, subscribe, hit me up in the comments box below, and yeah, we'll see you again sometime, maybe actually in a shit hotel of Australia. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Interesting honesty on the compendium here. No scenic views. Well, I'll look out for no scenics. After watching Bodies, where everyone goes back in time, you start to wonder when you see this.